Hello and welcome back into the Big Ten Show. This is probably the quickest follow-up video I've had to do. About 15, 20 minutes ago, I put out a video about the speculation about Trev Alberts. And now we're going to go into the fact that he was hired and instant reactions from him getting hired by Texas A&M. So you can see it right there. No, that is the general consensus. This is a bad, bad thing for the university right now. And I think the worst thing about it, is something was exposed internally here. And we'll get into that in just a second. But first things first, we woke up with the news that Trev Alberts was going to be departing for Texas A&M, or that it was unconfirmed, but it was at the finish line. And over the course of the day, there were things that came on as far as speculation goes, and the leadership team and the team's purpose, and cut funding undermines the team's purpose, political dogma, talking about the Board of Regents. And even Adam Carricker said there's a lot going on. Sit tight, Husker Nation. Okay, so tracking the tea leaves on there, a lot of the initial speculation was that it was financial, and that is not necessarily the case. Again, I've touched on this a few times, and I touched on it if you saw the last video. It's not money. What Texas A&M was going to offer was about the same, if not right on par with what Nebraska was paying. Nebraska had already given him a $800,000 raise 120 days ago, from 1.7 million to 2.2 million. Money was not an issue. What is going on right now is behind the scenes. Essentially, what seems to be the case is there is a separation of the two departments. There's a separation of the guys at the top from the guys, boots on the ground, your athletic directors and the guys that are working towards the athletic department. So, putting this into perspective, why, with Trev Alberts potentially using that to leverage certain things over the course of the day, because stakeholders were involved, conversations were happening behind closed doors. We're not sure who was the problem here and not getting it done, but we have some indicators. So, but basically, with the Board of Regents and with him and his disagreements with them, that ultimately seems to be what led to this. So again, if you're working a job and you are working for the betterment of your employees, and you're their manager, their direct manager, and people above you aren't giving you the tools that you necessarily need to be able to do your job effectively and take care of your people, sometimes you might be in a position where you have to leverage that, and you have to say, hey, I can go over here where, they're going to give me more opportunity. And you could tell your old job, like, this is what they're willing to offer me. And if they can't meet those demands, then they just got to let you go and let the ship sink as it may, And I'm not saying Nebraska ship's going to sink. That's just a hypothetical situation to kind of put it in perspective as to why I wasn't mad at Trev for leveraging the situation. And I'm not mad at Trev for leaving. We have a lot of details yet to come out with the internal conversations that happened. I think the biggest ball that is being dropped, and I've seen this said, there should have been a statement. Somebody from the university should have come out and clarified something. All day, it was reports and Twitter speculation, and a lot of the stuff was from reliable sources. Everything I presented was from reliable sources. And, I still, on my other show, said that it was about a 70-30% chance, that a 30% chance that he stays, 70% chance that he leaves, because this almost felt like this is something that was the most drastic measure he could take, which means he was at his wit's end with this. And, whether it being budget cuts or, something like that, typically what happens, when they have these higher ups, is they're worried about their own individual interests, while Trev Alberts is trying to do what's right and what's best by the athletic department as a whole. And so, if Trev has this athletic department going the right direction, and he's doing everything that necessary that he needs to do to be able to make sure that, he's doing his job, and he needs a little bit more to be able to do his job, whether that be, resources or whatever, what have you. And he needs the buy-in from those guys. And if they're not giving him the buy-in, and it's enough for him to up and leave, his alma mater, his dream job, for another school paying him the same amount of money, then that means somebody within the department dropped the ball hard. Somebody within that board of regents dropped the ball hard, and somebody who was in all those conversations today should have been able to find a way to make this work. There was multiple people, politicians coming out and saying, we got to do whatever we can to keep Trev, and they let him walk. Somebody needs to be held accountable for this. And I think right now, if we go too hard on Trev for making the jump, that is going to completely take people's attention away from who needs to be at fault here. And as the days go along, we're going to get reports. We're going to see a lot more of, less speculation and more of the actual conversations that were had and what led to this. And so again, everything pointing to, it not being a money issue. And I still 100% wholeheartedly agree that it's not a money issue. Again, he had everything he needed to hear. The athletic department's going the right direction. It's his alma mater. It's his dream job. This goes much, much deeper than money. And again, he got his raise. He got what he needed. This morning, it was one of those things. It's control what we can control. And I don't want to speculate, who the next athletic director will be. I will get that list together just yet, but I need to kind of do my due diligence before I throw that list out there. I know people were talking about John Cook, the head volleyball coach, but, he doesn't have athletic director experience. And one of the things I will say, Husker fans, is things are not always as bad as they seem. Do I believe Matt Rule is going to leave? I absolutely do not. Matt Rule is still the general manager of that football team. He still runs that football team, and he loves those kids, and he loves what he's building. He's already started the foundation. He said when he came over here that he made the decision that was right by his family, and he wanted a place where his family can grow in a community. And, he loves what Lincoln has to offer. I don't think the Trev Alberts move will sway him away from Nebraska at all. And if anything, I'm hoping that whoever is next, whoever is in charge of finding out who the next athletic director will be, which will have to be a president that steps in, that person might want to consult with the coaches that we have in place to make sure that we don't lose any collateral because of this. Make sure that it's something that the entire athletic department approves of. Because when we lose the athletic department and when we lose the boosters and all of that, we've seen how that goes when there's a disagreement with those guys. So something needs to happen. Something needs to be resolved here. And again, there was also rumors that this was, him trying to leverage a president role. And another thing that he mentioned in the past that he didn't like was that there wasn't a sitting president. There's an interim president right now at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. And it's like having a fill-in manager at your job. Eventually you want to know who your manager is going to be, who you're going to be working for, long term. And he mentioned that as an issue before, and it was something that actually, it was something that actually was an issue. So I don't want to speculate too much on who's going to be next or anything like that, but I don't think it's going to be John Cook. There are some lists out there. I know On3 posted a list, so if y'all want to go check that out, that's out there. But yeah, just trying to give you my reaction here. I don't think this is the end of the world. I do know that they're going to need to get a president in there ASAP, or the sitting president's going to have to step into the role and get an athletic director. But something needs to happen very quickly. And I'm not sure how much preparation UNL had, but I don't think it was very much. So this is a situation that needs to be handled swiftly but efficiently. It can't be a rash decision. And with the upper leadership, being the reason that Trev's out, I'm really, really concerned that maybe they may not make the right hire. But I'm going to hope for the best. We're going to control what we can control right now. Husker Nations, take a breath. Nothing is as bad as it seems on the surface. Yes, this sucks. It's because we had that relationship with Trev. We know what Trev's building, and he's been one of the best things that happened to this university in a long, long time. But let's not automatically assume that the person that we do end up with is going to be an absolute dumpster fire. So let's wait until news comes out. Let's wait until we get a little bit more of an idea of who we might be targeting. And I say we as Nebraska. Sorry, I'm one of those people. I know, my bad. But who's Nebraska's targeting as their next AD, and I will continue to update as needed. So yeah, like I said, I posted a video a little bit ago. Wanted to put this follow up video out there. Yeah, so for those of you that don't know what we're doing here, it's the Big Ten show. We've got program overviews up for half of the Big Ten currently. Nebraska's is coming soon. So if y'all want to join the show, join the community, you like what we're doing here, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. It really helps us out as a young channel trying to get to 1,000 subs. So, and I will continuously keep y'all updated as much as I can on this news and the latest with the athletic department search in Nebraska. So, with that being said, that will do it for me. I will do it for me. That will do it for me, and I will see you on the next video. Peace.